And welcome back, guys, to a brand new series. And having decided, and an overwhelming vote cast last time out, that was in favour of doing some rebuilds as we go into the second half of the season, what we're going to do tonight is start with one that we'd already started. And somebody did mention Spurs as a potential rebuild. And that's where we're going. But this is halfway through the season. And the reason for that, this is one of the tactics that I tweaked when I had one of those emails which was stating my tactic doesn't work. And we got them back on track by Christmas. And hopefully we're going to go into the new year now and finish the season, the last 4 or 5 months of the season, and see if we can get Spurs into the European places. And so far, so good. We are sitting in third. We've recovered and got them into third. We're not going to stay there for much longer. Man City have a game in hand. And there's a lot of teams, of course, according to FM, there's always a lot of teams who are actually right behind you, breathing down your neck. That will never change, I don't think. But currently we are in third. We got a few fixtures tonight. We're going to play Birmingham in the Cup. We're going to play Manchester United, and we are going to play Manchester City at home. So it's not the greatest start that we're going to have. In terms of what we've done so far, we have taken them. We got off to a really poor start in terms of our games. By the way, guys, if there is anybody in the chat, and I can't see anybody at the moment, can you let me know if you can hear me okay and if you can see everything okay, because I have absolutely no idea if I'm absolutely talking to myself here. So could you let me know if there is anybody in the chat? And so basically we got off to a poor start, it wasn't pretty, but we have recovered. And basically looking at this, it's been a good season so far. This game against Nottingham Forest, I don't know what actually happened there. We just have to take those defeats on the chin. But we've done extremely well to get them to where they are. We did switch the tactic, which I've tweaked a little bit for today, because we have a number of injuries at the moment and players who are going out and all sorts of stuff that's going on here. We've got Kulusevski, who's injured. He's only going to be out for about a day, but he probably won't play in the Cup. Pedro Porro is out for a couple of weeks. Vicario is out for a week. And Alfie Whiteman, who's an emergency backup player, has broken his ankle. He's out for a while. We also have players who are in desperate need of a rest. And you can see fitness issues for Brian Gill. You can see fitness issues for Dyer, Sessegnon, Son as well, and Kulusevski. I don't know why. They haven't been playing much football. It's just an FM thing, that, I think, because there is no way that there should be any fitness issues with this squad. They haven't played many games. They haven't been in Europe. So I think that's just an FM thing that we're dealing with. It is a small squad. And we are looking at, as we come into January, there's going to be some transfer stuff going on. These are pre-planned transfers. Although, as you'll see later when we look at the outs, there is one that's just happened. 16-year-old, a 21-year-old centre-back, right-back, probably desperately need a right-back. Might be good for him to sit on the bench. I have no idea what he's like at the moment. But will be good, I think, for him to sit on the bench and get some game time. And then Burgaville, who's a centre mid, only 17 years old, so he's not going to be much good to us either. And then Timo Werner, of course, he will be coming in on loan until the end of the season from Leipzig. Where to use him is an issue, and I think we'll probably go with Spurs and use him as a winger rather than a forward, because his finishing and composure are not very good at all. So we probably use him as an inverted winger, perhaps, rather than somebody who's going to be scoring goals for us. So we do have money in the bank, and let's have a look at the money that we have in the bank at the moment. It's 54 million. So we've got a busy transfer window, I think, with such a small squad. And players going out, notably Tanganga, who is a centre-back. Eric Dyer is also going out very soon. Ashley Phillips is also going out. Kilmas is a 17-year-old. He's going out. Reguilon is going to Manchester United, I believe. Or Brentford. He's going to Brentford. He's just finished his loan at Manchester United. Spence is going out. We're going to have a very, very small squad, I think. And then I don't know who he is. Dante Casanova. He's a 19-year-old. And then Perisic is going out as well. It's going to leave us mightily short, this. Oliver Skip is going out as well. We will get money in for him, though. And bid has been made of 26 million, I think, for him. Hi, Mavs. See you soon. See you very soon, Marvel. Oh, yes. When do you go away to the Philippines, Marvel? And more important, when do you come back? Matthew Craig is going to go out. Alfie Devine is going out. In fact, there's just so many players going out. Transfer bid for Son, I'm going to reject that because we might as well get rid of the whole squad if this goes on much more. But we have to go and play a game, and I'm not sure if there is anybody apart from Marvel in the chat. Say hello. Let me know that you can hear what's going on. We're going to be playing a cup match, and I have no idea what is going to happen here. So you will be there for about 5 days, Marvel, just before I go back to Saigon. I will leave for Saigon on the 29th. So I will see you when I'm in Huang Nai. So I have tweaked the tactic a little bit. And I'm going to have... he's not going to be much good as a deep-lying forward, I don't think. Rickarlson. Could try him as a deep-lying forward. And then to compensate for that, we've got the inside forward on support. I have so many players who need a rest. I can't even put a proper bench out, and it's not looking great. So we go into this game against Birmingham, pretty much playing a different way to how I'd originally set them up. I don't really want to bring these boys into the team. They are going out very soon, so I don't think there's very much point in doing that. We do want to play as we had decided to play. We're going to play as Spurs play, or at least try to do that. We're going to play it out of defence. We're going to play shorter passing, slightly higher tempo, running at the defence, being more expressive, counter-press, counter-attacking. And then we are going to play with a higher line, with a high press. I toyed with the idea of going with a much higher line, but in the end I decided a higher line is good enough. Trigger press much more often, may increase that because I want it to be frantic, so we might do that now. And step up more to compress the midfield and stop the crosses. That's how we're going to play. And we'll see how we can get on here with Spurs. I don't feel very optimistic given the amount of stuff, the amount of movement from the squad. This is going to be like a transfer window and a half here. I have no idea how many players I'm going to get left with very shortly. But it's not looking great. But we'll see what we can do. We've got off to a good start. And the goal of the save in the next few weeks is to get Spurs into the top four. Can we do it? I don't know. We've been on a good run, and I need to tell them that. But I need to just tell them I trust you to make the difference. I usually lie to my players in these meetings. We'll just get him to check his instructions, which he has done. Christian Bayek, I am going to type mark because I know him. He is a decent playmaker in the middle of the pitch there. Go to bed, Mavel. Time for sleep. I know what you are like. So I will see you soon, Mavel. So I want to check that I've got everything set up as I should have. No match sound. I don't want key highlights. I want comprehensive. And we're just going to slow that down a tad. In fact, quite a lot. Now we'll bring it up there. And that should be us. Has anybody ever, I wonder, of you guys watching, I know there's about 5 or 6 of you watching, have you ever, like, stormed out of a press conference? I would like to try it one day and see what happens. I've never actually done it, but it would be fun, I think, to try it one day. But I'm hoping that we will win this game quite comfortably in the Cup. It should be. Against Birmingham, this Spurs team should be good enough. It's just players who are not fit. We have scored, and Brian Gill, of all players, has gone and made it 1-0. And that's about as good a start as I could have hoped for. We are up and running in our brand new save. And you guys are very, very quiet there in the chat tonight, aren't you? Feels like I'm talking to myself. Thank you, Marvel, for sending me those messages. Otherwise, I'd think I was on my own here. And looking at Birmingham, they're not really at the moment giving us any sort of headache at all. And we are totally dominating this game. And there's another chance, and it's 2-0. And so we're pretty much blowing Birmingham away here. The start that I wanted from a team that is way, way short of being a first team. Is he going to be offside, is he? It has been disallowed, of course. A team that is, it's way short of being a first team. Oh, come on, referee. That was actually onside. I think we've been done there. We've actually been cheated there. The line was actually level, and as far as I'm aware, level is onside. So I don't know how the FM worked that out, but the line was absolutely on top of it. So as far as I'm concerned, we've been done one there. But still, we are dominating the game. The tactic that we put together worked very, very well. And we did try to recreate it as Spurs play. As I said, I've tweaked it a little bit. So it's not quite as Spurs play at the moment. But when the squad is fit, it will go back to being how they actually play, hopefully. We also have money to bring players in. And so that should bolster the squad quite nicely as well. I'm not too happy with their finishing at the moment. It's not good. And I've got that. Why am I in key highlights? Why is this game not working all the time? It's just so bad sometimes. You make changes and it doesn't respond. And I've noticed that a lot since the update. So how am I supposed to play in key highlights? Now, if the game keeps changing things, I call that either severe bug problems or cheating if the game itself changes my instructions. I've had the game change my entire bench once. So this game is full of bugs. FM is FM. And that bench was not very good. I had 3 goalkeepers on the bench that day because this game just changed it, which is nice. But again, I'm not really too happy with the way they're playing. They're dominating. Absolutely dominating. And that might be because Rickarlson is playing in a different role up front. Isn't that so FM? Isn't that so FM? And we are now 1-1. And if you don't score goals, you don't win matches. And that is just unbelievable. I just don't believe this. But to be honest, I don't care if we get knocked out of the cup. But it will be embarrassing for this team to be knocked out. And I'm going to berate them. This is not acceptable. They need to get their act together. And I can't risk these players with Manchester United, Manchester City coming up. And they've got to prove that they are good enough. Or some of them will be out the door. Some of them have got their mind on transfers. They're going out very shortly. And it's just looking like one of those games, isn't it? That FM gives to you quite a lot. Where you absolutely hammer them. And for some reason, the ball won't go in the back of the net. Our shots on target ratio is poor. Our passing is pretty good. 90% is pretty good. Our XG is good. They've had one shot, one on target, one goal. That's what I expect of FM. And that's what we've got. And I'm going to have to figure this out in a minute. How are we going to score goals? And it might be I have to go back to what we were doing before. That's not going to do it. And it might be I'll have to, in the second half, go back to what we were doing before. They haven't even actually had a key pass, which is quite interesting. It's a really, really interesting fact is that they haven't put a pass together. And this is so FM. This is just... Sometimes the game just is a horrid game. And it just... part of what it does is it tries to wind you up. I should have told them that I'm not happy. I'm going to tell them all that I'm not happy. And the forwards have been doing okay. But generally everybody else has been pretty poor. I'm going to go attacking. And I'm going to push the line right up. And I think they're going to have to work harder. I'm going to get the goalkeeper to distribute it quickly. They're going to have to work harder now. They're their own worst enemies. Not allowed to change that for some reason. Yeah, he's taken that never press off. And so you've got to get out there, boys, and you've got to do the stuff. If you don't come back in the dressing room unless you want to be absolutely have a rocket up you. If we can't beat Birmingham, then we might as well quit the save now. Because it's going to be one of those saves. I actually don't know what's happened to FM since the update. I'm really annoyed with SI at the moment. I paid good money for this game and they've ruined it. And I want my money back. Because it was working just fine before the update. Now nothing works. And I think they're experimenting with FM25 coming out. And it's not fair that they're experimenting on something that I bought in good faith. And they should give me my money back. Or fix it. And because it's just not acceptable. I've had all sorts of rubbish going on since the update. All sorts of rubbish. Including stuff like this, which is happening more and more and more. And it does beg the question, what is FM25 actually going to be like? Because if this is the base on which they're experimenting, oh my goodness me. All the promises. Okay, this is not working out, is it? We're going to have to be more disciplined. You can't be trusted, boys. So I can see that there are a few people in there, but nobody said hello to me yet. Feel a bit lonely at the moment. Offside again. What are your thoughts, guys? Hi, some sort of channel. What are your thoughts? Are you an FM24 player? I mean, what are your thoughts since the updates? Do you disagree with what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking? Or do you think that there's something to it, that they are experimenting, and it's not actually a good thing to do when you've paid good money for something? Because nothing is working since the update. And I don't know, what do you think? Am I imagining things? I've had like some very weird things going on in my saves. Very weird things. Like getting jobs after the previous manager resigns. 3 days later, I'm in the job. That doesn't happen. And that's happened twice in saves. It's like weird stuff going on. And clubs signing me as a manager when I don't even have any sort of record. Juventus signed me as a manager. And I'd only ever won the League One title in England. Why would Juventus sign me? And not only sign me, but actually actively pursue me. I can't sell players. It's almost impossible to sell players. Now, do I shout a bit of encouragement? Probably not. They should know what's expected of them. So encouragement, no. They might take their foot off the ball. And there's no type marking of by it going on there. This is quite poor, isn't it? So I'm just wondering, looking at the way they're playing, how on earth we got them to third place in the league. Unless we're going to go into a period where they forget how to play football again. Because that happens quite a lot. The team just completely forgets what a football is, what it's for, what they're supposed to do with it. And that can go on for 3 or 4 weeks. And then suddenly they remember again. So this game needs fixing. Needs fixing. But at the moment, they've got themselves out of trouble. They would be in serious trouble in the dressing room. I think that's the message I gave them as well. You've not been good enough. And so they have responded to that. I'm just wondering how many opportunities have we created? 15 XG in terms of goals is about right, but and passing is good. We're just like terrible up front. I suppose we're missing Son, Kulusevski, Maddison, missing all those players. So I guess it's reflecting that those players are not playing, but this is only Birmingham, and it shouldn't be this difficult. Hi Nicholas, how are you doing? Yeah, they brought in. I agree, Nicholas. It's like an endless chore selling players, and they brought in. They told us before FM24 came out, we've got these new intermediaries. We're going to make selling players a lot easier. I've never been able to sell a player through an intermediary, and 90% of the time, I get them when I click on that sell through an intermediary. I get a message saying, unfortunately, there's no interest in the player. So what is the point of having that there? They promised us that it was going to be easier. And it never was. In fact, it's harder, not easier. So I think they misled me a little bit in that respect. We do have some tired players. Lo Celso wasn't 100% fit. I'm going to bring on Maddison. I know he's tired, but he's only got to play for 20 minutes, so he should be okay. I'd like to bring on Vicario, the goalkeeper, just to give him a run out because he's been injured, but we won't bother with that. Fullbacks, I don't have a right one, I don't think. But we'll give Sessegnon a run out. And we will bring on Perisic on the left wing for Brian Gill. Brian Gill did very well. And we'll leave it at that for now in terms of subs. But I'm looking at this Birmingham team. They've really not done anything at all. They haven't been in the game. And it's just one of these FM games, isn't it? And unless they're going to equalise now, are they? In which case, I'll be in the transfer market very quick to buy their strikers. And the other thing I've noticed, Nicholas, is strikers don't work anymore. And that's since the update. It's very difficult to get your striker to score goals, no matter who he is. And I've had instances where Haaland, in some of my saves, hasn't been able to score goals. So something's happened with strikers. And it's a little tweak they've made somewhere that is making it... Oh, we're not getting stuck in. We're giving away a lot of free kicks. I don't know what it is. I really don't know. But I feel cheated by them because I paid for this in a certain condition and it worked to a degree. And now they've changed it and it doesn't work. So I feel like you owe me money. And you've taken away... It took me... Every time, every version that comes out, I make it my business because I know they're going to change the coding. So we have to find out how to beat this game. So this year it was quite easy. I found out how to beat this game quite easily. And for a while, what we were doing worked. But since the update, that doesn't seem to apply anymore. Now, I did lots of videos telling people how to beat the game. And now they've tweaked it, it's no longer effective. So I'll probably get lots of comments second half of the season saying, "Oh, you lied." In which case, I'll say, no, I didn't. The game, actually, they changed the game, which annoys me a little bit. Good evening, Andy. How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. So we are, Andy, we are here with Tottenham. It's the video I did on the first video I did, My Tactic Doesn't Work. I don't know if you remember that one. And so we are carrying on with that. We do have, as we're coming up to the transfer window, we got massive problems, of course, with half the squad is leaving. We will get a little bit of money. We might even get up to about 100 mil. But we're going to have a lot of players we have to bring in. I'm almost there, Andy. Almost there. Replace him with Eric Dyer. What are you talking about? Yeah, we are very, very short. We're light in midfield. Yeah, I'm going to have to. We're very light in midfield. Richarlison, we'll bring on Son. I know he needs a rest. And now we'll go back to what we were doing. He can play as this deep lying forward on support. We'll put Perisic on attack. And that's more like what we were doing previously. And so hopefully we'll go on and win this game. Although, has he given a penalty? No, it's a free kick the other way. So you missed the last Juventus episode, Andy. We were played 4th, 2nd, and 1st. Like you, oh my goodness, what's happened? Oh, Dyer's got himself hurt, has he? Already. Hi Steve, how you doing? And we actually got 7 points out of 9 in those games. We beat Inter again. I don't know why all that happened. But we managed to end up in 5th. I still think there's something wrong with that, because actually we were 5th, level on points with the club in 4th, but our goal difference was better than theirs by a street. So I don't know how they work that out in Italy. If anybody knows about Italian football, let me know. How are you doing, Steve? It's just like, how can we finish below a team level on points when our goal difference was far superior? I don't know. Something I don't know. Is that what it is, Andy? I just found it very difficult to work it out. Maybe they don't go on goal difference like they do in the UK. But Birmingham have not been in this game. We just haven't played very well, which is the story of my FM life this year. Not playing very well. Although I was very impressed with Juventus's performance against Inter. It's just suddenly like everything came back to normal and the things we were doing in-game actually worked again. So I don't know what's going on in this game. Because as you remember, Andy, we went that 12-game where they didn't know how to play football. They didn't know what a football was. And the instructions I was giving them didn't work. Nothing worked. Tried God knows how many formations. And then suddenly out of nowhere, we won 7 games on the bounce again. And what is going on? And all the in-game instructions worked again. Oh, Barry Town, because you might not know, but I'm a Welsh boy. And actually, we didn't... holidays in those days were trips to Butlins. And my very first holiday that I ever went on as a kid was Barry Butlins. So that's an interesting save you've got going there. Must have been a glitch in the update. I absolutely believe it was, Andy. Oh, finally. And I think they've got to stop doing updates for the sake of doing updates, and because it's completely ruined everything that was working before the update. And since the update, there's been tons of glitches. I was saying earlier that in one game I played recently, I think it was in Coritiba, the game just completely changed my bench. And I had 3 goalkeepers on the bench, 2 of whom were 16 years old and absolutely no value to me. There's so many problems now. And I want my money back because I bought this game in good faith that it worked. No, it doesn't. But at least it's worked today. My team talk at half-time has paid off. And Birmingham should have been put away. Just the head-to-head results, is it? Ah, okay. So I was never going to get into 4th, because I thought I was going to get into 4th into the Champions League. And that's what my focus was on during the last game, but I was never going to get there. Okay, it's the head-to-head thing. Still, some very, very good results in the last 3 games. Very, very good results. How was your awards dinner, Andy? Was it good? Oh, what was the goalkeeper doing there? I think the tactics working now much better when they have that deep line forward. The chances that we're creating, I don't know if I'm imagining it, but they look better chances now, with the deep line forward coming back into these spaces and the on-rushing inside forwards and the wing backs coming inside. I think it looks a bit better now. The tweaks didn't help, I don't think. But well done, lads. You listened to me at half-time and it paid dividends. But I don't see a cup run as being something that we will be able to maintain. A little jaded could do with a rest. No, he's played... How many games has he played? He's played hardly any football. He's played 20 games. What's the matter with him? What I will do for him, though, when is the next game? Manchester United, 7 days. So if we go to Son, and we'll go to training, and we'll just tell him, where is it? Four days of rest, and then he should be fit as a fiddle by the time we play the next game. That's awesome. That's really awesome. So he's only been playing for... Gosh, that's not very long. He's only been playing for 6 months. That's awesome. So, Emil Højbjerg now has left the club. We've got 18.5 in the kitty, but I haven't got any midfielders. So if we look at the finances now, we have to move it on, don't we? Skip will be leaving as well. So if we have a look at the finances now, 72 million. So we're going to have to, if we look at the squad planner and look at a midfield, Basuma is on international duty. He's going to be not back until February, as well as Sarr. So we're going to be really struggling in midfield. So I'm going to have to bring someone in very quickly. Might just have to be a quick sale. Let's see who's available. Don't want to spend too much money, because when those two boys come back, then it's going to cause problems of another sort. Who is Aslani? Could play as my DLP back there, couldn't he? But his tackling is poor and marking is poor. I need them to do that particular job. Prices are very high. And there's not really much to choose from. Joe Gomez, Lavia of Chelsea. What's he like? He's a 4.5 star potential. He's a young boy. He's a ball winner, though. could play as a segundo volante, but he's nowhere near ready yet. Good potential, but nowhere near ready yet. Ndidi is a ball winner. We know about Ndidi. And then who's this geezer? DLP again. Could play as a segundo volante. It's got good technicals, this boy. Good technical player. Can tackle. 51 million. It's just, I don't know. I'll have to think about this. But at the moment, we're going to struggle to put a team together against Manchester United. So this looks, it's a left back. We've got plenty of left backs, and so I don't know why he is messing about with this. It's the second left back he's picked up on that I've just told him forget about it. We do have this geezer coming in, but he's a midfielder, but he's nowhere near ready yet. And I'm wondering, can we pull somebody back like Maddison? Can Maddison play in central midfield for a while? Where is Maddison? He could probably, but he can't play in this position, which is not, it's not good enough, is it? So I'm really struggling in terms of midfielders. In fact, I don't have one. So I might have to play the next game without a midfield. He's on loan, which I can't recall him from his loan either. God, this game is terrible, isn't it? A dreadful game. Bentancur is a DM. So players thinking of getting a rest, you're not having one. But at least that's good news, because the game can't injure my midfielders, because if it injures them, I can't put a team out. Horta has become... Who's Horta? What? And why are we buying a winger when I have tons of wingers? What's this about? Horta. I don't need a winger, so we're not buying a winger. And then we've just dealt with that. So we just wound up the other clubs for no reason whatsoever. Kuleveski's back in training. You're probably not going to be ready for Man United. So I'm not really expecting too much of this. United, who are in second. Mickey Moore. So Mickey Moore, is he a Spurs player? Mickey Moore? Oh, what is this nonsense? Can't see him in there. Alfie Devine, Donnelly, all sitting in the reserves. There is nothing in here worth thinking about. Ashley Phillips is being sold, I believe, or going out on loan. Donnelly, Veliz. But there's nothing really here worth shouting about. It's going to leave me with a real problem. I'm going to have to work hard during the latter part of this transfer window. I just don't want to buy quickly. You're not getting Son. Don't be so daft. We'll put such a price on Son that they're not going to come in for him. I don't want to do that. Show all teams. Start the draw. And then advance to the end. Speed 3 times. Cardiff versus Arsenal or Swansea. Blackburn or Stockport. Well, we should get through the next round. Oh, talking of Son, the game continues to do this shit. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So Werner I don't know what to do, to be quite frank. Since this update, it does not like it if you are successful. It just does everything it can to stop you being successful. It just throws its toys out the pram. And it's quite annoying. And I think it's something to do with your manager profile. I think if I changed my manager profile and started a brand new manager profile, then I think it would probably reset the game, and you'd have an easy season, and followed by a very easy season. You know how it goes. It only gets harder after about season 4 or 5. So I think I'm going to have to reset my manager profile. The game does not like you being successful anymore. And it's got to get used to it. That is not the way to set a game up. You can't code in, if somebody's successful, do everything you can to make him not successful. You can't code that in. It's ridiculous. You either play fair or you don't play at all. I'm going to have to bring someone in, but I don't have that kind of money just for a forward. We're going to be really short of players. It would be great if the game would realise that I don't have enough players and then knock my African players out of that tournament so they come back. But then they'll come back tired as well. I know the game very well. So those players will come back tired, needing a rest. It's just relentless. Will be tough to beat. They will be tough to beat because I don't have a team left. That's why they'll be tough to beat. $53 million? No, we're not. We're not doing that. Walk away. Ah, Vicario is back. Who is this guy? Centre back. He's a good wing back though. Good full back. Bentancur, Perisic, Richarlison. I think I have to ask Richarlison to play as a deep line forward, whether he likes it or not. And Son has to play. I don't care how tired he is. And I don't have a full bench. Pedro Porro will have to play injured. 2 days he can play. Oh, Son is injured, isn't he? So all I can do is bring on Bentancur onto the bench. How long is he going to be out for? 3 weeks. Can I recall Parrott? Yeah. No. Probably can't recall him at all. So I'm going to ask... I'm going to go with that, actually. And I'm going to ask Brennan Johnson to play as the deep line forward. We'll then keep this going. We'll have Richarlison on attack. So the idea is that he drops in here. Hey, Reckons, how are you doing? Scarlett Dane Scarlett is on the bench. But the main worry is just total lack of players. So I'm just going to get rid of all these. And we'll see that we don't have any players here now. And bringing one player in at 50 million is stupid. So Eric Dyer has now left. I think I've only got 2 centre-backs. It's just kind of weird. This is like the weirdest thing that's going on. Perisic, Richarlison. He keeps changing his mind on this one, doesn't he? I wonder why. I wonder why. Maybe because I changed the roles. So let's try that. Let's see what he thinks. Yeah, he's okay with that. So we really just got to take the game to who is Dragoussi? He's the fullback, isn't he? The centre-back fullback. Is he in the team already? Yeah, just like, welcome, get your shirt on. He's a good player though, so hopefully he'll do the business. I'm not putting anybody out in the reserve team. You keep telling me they all need a rest. You mad, assistant? So this is a big game, a very big game. And I think I don't know whether I should come off a positive approach and go start the game in a balanced mentality. I just don't want to go into a spiral which we got ourselves into with the last 3 teams. So maybe I'm just going to stay playing as we think Spurs play. He needs a rollicking. And hope that this team is good enough. You won't recognise the team in a moment, reckons, because they kind of all been... wait, I don't know what's going on here. 27-year-old Fabian. How much have you made an offer for? 63 million. Oh, fee 6 million. He's made an offer for 63 million. I mean, we've got to get someone in. He's probably do a good job as the DLP. So we'll let that one run. Fee 6 million. That we'll let that one run. We do desperately need players. Desperately. Oh, here we go then. Manchester United. We've done the Birmingham job. And we've kept up what is a particularly good run. It's FM after the update. It's due to go wrong. So don't be surprised if it all goes wrong from here for perhaps 10 games, and then suddenly, miraculously, everything will come back to normal. I still don't know. What do you think, guys? Should I play positive? Spurs would play positively against Manchester United. They wouldn't be defensive in any way. They would go at Manchester United. They're desperately short in midfield. Lo Celso could play. I'm not sure Skip is the man there. Lo Celso's just the same. Skip is on his way out as well, so there's another one going out. It's I don't know, really tough one. Royale we'll give that boy his debut. He wants to play balanced as well. Mr. Assistant wants to play balanced. I did think about it. I actually agree with him here, given if Manchester United are going to play as they normally play, I agree with him. Go through the middle of them. They are very weak down the middle. And let's see what happens. It'll be no big deal to lose against United and City. I don't think it's going to do the whole season in, but the transfer window has become really important. But I'm convinced we can end their run. Spurs would not adjust the way that they play for Manchester United. It just would not happen. Bruno Fernandes should be tight marked all the time. Got a number of tired players in their team. But that doesn't seem to make any difference. It only makes a difference when it's in your team. The opposition can be on lowest of the low red for the whole game and they'll still have good games. But when you start getting down halfway, you start making dreadful errors. There's so much wrong with this game. Well done. Tight marked Bruno Fernandes really well there, didn't we? I might have to put somebody on him because he's going to be one of those central midfielders who bursts through with these runs. And they're quite difficult to deal with. So I might have to put somebody on Fernandes. Rashford, on the other hand, we're going to tell them, yeah, we already are closing down less. And they certainly are putting our goalkeeper to the sword. And I am actually going to push the line up. I want to stop them taking long shots. And we're going to trigger press more often. Manchester United are way overpowered in FM. And I shouldn't think Manchester United in real life, because this is nothing like the way they play. The way they play in real life is chronic. And so the goalkeeper's having a very good game. And we're a bit under the cosh here, and they are going to score unless I do something about it. We haven't been in the game at all. I might have to slow the tempo down a little bit. Because although I want to play Spurs, as they do in real life, it's got to remember this is FM. And FM has its own rules. Is that a corner? It certainly is. So I might have to think about slowing the tempo down if it's a little too frantic. But it does look like we don't have the ability to score, which is always a worry. And taking Son out was the nastiest thing the game could do at this point in time when I've got no players. Yeah, to me it looks like it's too frantic. So we're going to slow everything down. Get a bit narrower. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm not going to counter press. This isn't real life, and Manchester United are way overpowered in FM. So we can't play as we would real life. And we're a goal behind now. Bissaka? Wan-Bissaka? Ah, boy. We have to try and get some possession here, which is not how Spurs play. Bruno Fernandes is not being picked up. He is the problem. And so we have to put somebody on Fernandes. Where's he playing? Centre mid on attack by the look of it. Yeah, that's why he's making those runs. So somebody's got to mark him. See, another glitch. I can't go back to my screen. What is going on? I have no idea what's happened there. It's glitched again. Who is... I don't want to go back. I can't remember what side he was on now. He's on the right, so we've got this same awesome problem. So our left-handed... What? Okay, I give up. If you're not going to let me play the game, FM... Why is that greyed out? So he was on the right-hand side, so Skip, who can't mark, is going to have to pick up Bruno Fernandes. There's so many poor things in this game. FM, I want my money back. So we'll try slowing the game down, making it a bit narrower, passing it a bit better, but suddenly, like, I don't feel very optimistic at all about this save completely. And I see it going the same way as all the other teams have gone. They're going to go into a decline now with nothing you can do about it. And then magically they will recover and they'll win 7 games at the end of the season. That's what I see happening in front of my eyes. They were unbeatable. Once again, they were unbeatable. They lost to Nottingham Forest, but that's just one game in 15. And in the others, they were unbeatable. And then now they can't play football. And this is so FM24. And maybe that will happen for one team in 10, but not every single team. This is so FM24, so messed up. But I'll eat my words if I'm wrong, but this is how I see it happening. 12 games, can't win a match. Really struggle. And then for the last 7 games, they'll just like be world beaters again. FM think that people don't watch the games and don't take notice of patterns, but we do. We know that when your winger out here has a poor first touch and gives the ball away, that there's a goal is scored by the opposition. We do notice things. FM needs to realise that. We notice. Oh, this is really poor. This tactic was working a treat, but now can't work. Now it's just hopeless. Although there have been times, really been times where I just do not want to play this game this year. And sometimes putting all these videos together, I can't take a rest. Except when I'm really sick, which has happened lately. But there were times when I was healthy, I just did not want to play it because it's awful. And it resorts to cheap coding. to actually defeat you. That's what really gets to me. It's not that the AI is tremendously good. The AI is weak. But it resorts to this coding where you go on these runs and nothing you do works when everything you've done previously worked. And that's just cheap coding. And I really, really hope FM25 is going to be better than this. Or if it's not, I'm going to quit the game because it's a terrible game. But we're getting back in the game. Slowing the game down has worked a little bit. We look a little bit more dangerous now. Not much, but a little bit. Why is Maddison out so wide? Because he is playing wide. That may be an error. So what I'm going to do is switch these two over. I think he's probably better in the middle. Let's try it that way. Might just confuse them. Yeah, I'm right not to counter-press. I can't remember what the results were this season, Man United Spurs. I think, is there one of the games still to go? But I think Spurs beat United, didn't they, in real life, quite comfortably at the beginning of the season. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they've got, it's all wrong. Players like Anthony, he's not a very good player, and yet he was like he's like Messi in this game. Lot of work before FM25 you've got, boys. How many months to FM25? 6 months now, isn't there? Oh, that was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Okay. Let's take some of this decision making away from you. And we don't want to do that now. You're not good enough. Let's take your decision making away from you. You clearly can't make decisions anymore. That's it. Now we want to wind up Bruno Fernandes, but now it's injured. One of my left backs. Is he going to make it? Yeah, he's okay. His heart is okay. He's got, get out the way. Where's the physios? I need to take the free kick. Get out the way. What's going on? Are they having like a little love-in down there? Get out of the way. Good God. I know he's your friend, but just go and do your job. He's not even hurt. He's like playing up to the camera. Hey, Cenk, how you doing? He's just, like, he's not even hurt in the slightest. I don't know what that was about. It was a good old Premier League cheating, that was. Following the Premier League for real. Oh, somebody blew on me. I've got to fall down for an hour. Not quite, boys. Almost 100%. I'm still not quite there, which is why I'm taking things slow this week. And not doing every night. Just doing 3 nights this week. So I get 1 night to rest. I've got to go in next week for blood tests again. And I had morning trying to sort out US dollars. This country is bonkers. It's like it has this philosophy, this country, where no, we don't want to do things easy. We want to make things really, really difficult to do. It's like I always feel when it's like the bank. First, I'd called the bank and said, "Look, I want to go and change money to dollars ready for my holiday. I'm going to be away for a long time, so it's a lot of money. So I'm just telling you in advance that I'm going to be taking this money, paying this money to the post office, and I don't want you to suddenly decide it looks like fraud and we're not going to do it." So the guy says to me, "Well, we can't guarantee that." What do you mean you can't guarantee that the money won't be flagged? I'm telling you what I'm going to be doing. And, well, you know, computers, sometimes they flag things. And, well, to turn it off for like a couple of hours because I need to get that money sorted out before I go. And then he was like, "Well, you should use the card." And I said, "Don't tell me about Southeast Asia. I lived there for 16 years and cash is king. They don't like cards. And your card is open to fraud." And, "Oh, no, I don't think it's that." I said, "I lived there for 16 years. And I don't want to use my card." But that is another question that I was going to come to, is I want to let you know that I am going away. These are the countries I'm going to. So it's not suspicious behavior. So don't flag it. I might need to use the card at some point to buy a ticket to go somewhere. And also, I've got a goddaughter out there who I might want to buy a ticket to go somewhere for. So do not flag it. "Oh, well, we can't guarantee that, you know." I said, "Well, what is this? Can we get some sort of guarantee here that if anything happens, perhaps I'll be able to get home or feed myself? Or can we get some?" "Well, if something goes wrong, you can always phone the bank." I said, "It took me 45 minutes to get through to you this morning. How on earth am I going to pay for a call from Vietnam for 45 minutes and then have this kind of conversation with you? That's going to cost me about $1,000. And this conversation went on and on and on. And so I said, "Look, whatever, you're not obviously very helpful." And he said, "Well, you can always close your account. I can send you the money now." I said, "You are going to send a pile of money through the post, are you?" And he said, "Well, you can't complain." I said, "Of course people can complain. I'm asking you very simple questions." And anyway, it went on a bit more. And I said, "Look, I'm just going to take my chances. If I get stuck in a foreign country because my card doesn't work or whatever, then that's too bad. So if it gets flagged in the post office and you think that me changing this money is fraud, I'm going to call you again and tell you to unflag it because I need that money to go on holiday." So anyway, I left it there. And I then went to the post office quite happily. I then went off to the post office and thinking, got all that sorted. And but I want blah, 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 US dollars. But I want crisp notes because in the Philippines, they will only accept almost new notes. "Oh, well, we can't do that," he said. I said, "Yes, you can. You can order them because you've done it for me before." "Yeah, but we've got money in stock." So, "Well, how much have you got in stock?" He said, "Well, we got blah, blah, blah." I said, "Well, it's not enough." He said, "Yeah, I know, but can you order these? Can you take these and then order some more? So, like, you want me to pay twice instead of just do all this in one go?" "Well, yeah, that would be helpful." I don't really feel like being that helpful at the moment. I said, "Well, what have you got now?" So they brought out all these American dollars, and they were all $20 bills. Well, I'm going to be taking about almost $5,000. So in $20 bills, it would be like a pile like that. As I said, that is a ridiculous situation to be in. And I said, I really just need to get $100 bills and $50 bills. Is that okay with you and God and everybody else? Like, I'm giving you like 4 weeks notice to get this done because I anticipate problems. They said, well, we could order it. Fantastic. Let's get it ordered then. So I then went to give them my card. Oh, no, we don't want you to pay for it. Like, what do you mean you don't want me to pay? You're going to give me dollars free? No. You just come back in a week's time and we'll have the money here for you. And then you can pay for it then. I said, but how do I know that you're going to not forget to order the money? Oh, no. We're going to take your phone number and we'll order it just as soon as we finish this conversation. And I said, and the next Friday when I come back, everything's going to be fine. So she took, what denominations do you want? So I told her how much I wanted in 50s, how much I wanted in hundreds. No problem with that. And then she said, right, that's fine. So I said, so you're going to let me know when the money comes in? No, we're just going to get the money in and it will be here on Friday. Okay, so do you want to know who I am? You're going to just order all that money without even knowing who I am? Well, that's a good point, she said. Do you have a phone number? I'm like, you are having a laugh here. It's just like, so I gave her my phone number and she said, okay, so Friday then. I said, do you want to know who I am? Do you want to know my name? I'm like, this is surreal now. This is getting beyond a joke. I'm like, my God, what is this country become? It's one of the most inefficient countries I've ever come across in a long, long time. So hopefully, I'm anticipating, luckily I've done it 4 weeks or 5 weeks before I'm due to go, because I am anticipating all kinds of problems in the next week. It's like, I've also asked for extra medication from my doctors, which has probably confused them because they haven't replied an auto text to say they've received my medication request. So they are sitting in their office probably confused. Why does he want 3 months? Why is he going on holiday? I have had a day and a half of it. They are just so bad at doing things. And I'm just not happy with how things are playing out here. And I'm noticing all these 6.5s and 6.4. But he's a debut guy. They always play badly on their debut. So I expect it of him. I'm yet to sign a player who's played well on his debut. So I expect that of him, especially if they are slot into the team in the first week they arrive. So that's expected. But the others have just given up playing football. And this is so predictable now. Because, I think this is about your manager profile. And if I start a new profile, it'll just go back to being easy again. Because once you go through levels with the manager profile that you have, then the game gets harder. So once you've worked it out, it resorts to the only thing that it knows, and that's to injure all your key players and then to make you go on these runs of defeats that you can do nothing about. That's when you know you've beaten the game. Because it's resorted to the final thing that it can do. And so I think I got to change my manager profile somehow. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a vlog. I mean, there's a lot of things that not just you guys will be interested in. I mean, I'm going to places like where there are red light districts and stuff. My favourite bar, which I'll be going to on the very first day I arrive, it's called Lily's Bar. It's not called Lily's Bar. We know it as Lily's Bar. And it's right on the corner of Walking Street in Saigon. And that looks so good at night. It's just so amazing at night. And see what happened there? Did you see that? This is how you know the game is cheating, because it gets your players to run away from the ball. And this is what the game has become now for me. And I think it might be linked to the manager profile. I've won about 38 trophies, if not more, in the first 6 months. And I think the game is fighting back now in the only way it can with its cheat codes. And I think it's because of the manager profile, with a manager who's won all those trophies. See, we can't pass the ball. No, there won't be any Speedos, Andy. And the other place I'm going to is a quaint little city called Huang Nai. It'd be nice just to record the trip. And I know there are people out there who just enjoy... who want to visit Southeast Asia and enjoy watching videos, because they plan to go maybe next year or whatever, and they watch a lot of videos. So it won't be just FM guys who watch it, I hope. It'll be other people who watch it, but then I'll have to have a warning. This is a Football Manager platform, so don't subscribe if you're not interested in Football Manager. It's not a travel channel, so I'll have to have one of those warnings on the videos. And Manchester United aren't playing that well now suddenly, but we are playing so badly that it's painful to watch again. Absolutely painful to watch. And they seem to be doing stuff that is totally contrary to the instructions that they're given. And this is when you know those 10 games are coming where you're not going to win a sausage. Oh, there you go. Can't pass the ball. Can't score goals. And I actually read a thread. I think you're a member of that Facebook group, Andy. I read a thread about this. Somebody was talking about how suddenly his players can't pass, they can't score, the goalkeeper sucks, the defenders can't tackle. And he's reached the point which I was talking about. The game's fighting back now in the only way it can, by its cheat codes. The coding now says once you've reached a certain level, it becomes impossible. So I think you have to start your manager profile all over again. So the game doesn't know that you've won 40 trophies or whatever. But it's so annoying. Yeah, they do. And I read one today, Andy, and it's like this guy's so confused. Like, they can't... Suddenly, we were winning everything. His tactic was obviously well put together, beautifully designed, and he was winning stuff. And suddenly his team can't play football anymore. And I've suffered it so many times in the last couple of months. Notts County, Bournemouth, Juventus. I've suffered those things so much. And there's only so much you can take of this nonsense. I want a game that's fair. And not like this nonsense. Look at the player ratings here. 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, 6.4, 6.5. And they've been winning every game. That's what happens, Cenk. It's you reach that point where the game just invokes its right to defend itself, as it were. Cheat codes coming out. And that I've seen it happen. And that's why I think I want a refund from FM. Because I've paid for a year, not for 6 months. And I think the answer might be to change your manager profile so it thinks you're a new player, because it remembers how many trophies you've won. So I'm going to have to make 5 substitutions at half-time, am I? I mean, this tactic was working absolutely brilliantly. And now they haven't got a clue what they're doing. And good clues are when you have clumps of players. And I'm seeing clumps of players now. They're all getting in each other's way. I'm seeing players running past the ball without even looking at it. And so that's when you know. And passing, when they can't pass the ball. The next thing that will happen is the inevitable sending off, because that's happened in all the saves so far. When things can't get any worse, you get the sending off. It is, Cenk, and it's a coding problem. And I don't know what they've done in the last update, but there are so many glitches in this now. And the game makes changes all by itself. And I don't like that at all. And that was a sneaky update as well. They didn't even announce that was going to happen. But people noticed it and then they said what they'd done. But I don't believe them. I actually don't believe them. What was that? That was dreadful. Look at him. Is it trying to force me to change my tactic just out of spite again? Look at this. 6.3 for Oliver Skip. I'll be glad to see him out the door. So it has to be Lo Celso. Look at this nonsense. I'm going to make him a pressing forward. He obviously can't do that job. Waste of time. He's got to come off. Oh, he's improving. So I just need to tell them they're rubbish, basically. So they need to get at least a draw here. But I can't see it happening, to be fair. And so as the game, I'm just wondering, there's been so many highlights. You see, it's glitched again. I put it on comprehensive in the last game, and it's gone to full match. This game is broken. It's really broken. And I was wondering why that half took so long. It just makes changes all by itself. And when I said in the Coritiba save, I was catching up with that. It changed my entire bench. I had 3 young goalkeepers on the bench. Let's poo. I like that one. I like that one. Oh, I think we have to get them playing as they were. I'm going to up the tempo. I'm going to play fairly wide. We'll counter press now. Much higher line. They've got to. I've got to try and get some intensity back in, but here's a goal. Yeah. That was coming, despite it has nothing to do with the changes that I've just made. It was just coming. United haven't... You also notice that United, since they scored, they haven't actually hardly been in our half. And then suddenly they go and do this. Game's broken. And they really should refund everybody their money. Richarlison's got to come off. He's got to come off. Well, I can't take all 11 off. That's the problem. I don't have 11 players, fit players, who can play anyway. I think my bench is only about my first team. I think I have 19 players in the squad. This goes to show that this is actually a fantasy game, because Spurs would not be crushed like this by Manchester United. United are way too overpowered. Oh, we've got one back, have we? And it's that debutant, the fullback. And that's quite interesting that 2 fullbacks have scored in this game. 2 defensive fullbacks at that. Interesting. Richarlison's gone up a bit. Maddison is having a very poor game, as is Bentancur. But of course my midfielders will play bad, because I've only got 2, I think, at the moment. It's an even game. United have not been any better than we have. We just made lovely mistakes for them. Right, subs early. Get ready for the injury. Romero's having a dreadful game, but I don't have another centre-back. That's it. I don't know how I'm going to replace all these players. So he has to stay on. I just have to give him a rollick in a minute. Scarlett can come on. Can he play as a deep line forward? Can't play as anything. And look at this, Kulusevski. He's a good player in real life, but FM have made him into a monkey now. Gill played well in the last game. He got a goal at least, so he can come on the right wing. Maddison is like a twit. And I've got one more. What's Udogi playing like? He's actually having a half decent game. It's Perisic who is the problem. Let's go with that. It's all I can do. To be honest, the way I'm feeling about the game at the moment, I'll be happy to leave the game behind for 8 weeks. I've never felt that bad about an FM game in the 15 years I've been playing it. But I will actually be happy to go on holiday and leave it behind for 8 weeks. It's so broken. It's depressing to play at the moment. That'll help, won't it? Well done, that'll help. Let's tell him to shoot less often. Let's get through these games. It's just been a nothing game. It's like they've just about edged passing and possession. They've created better opportunities. We've created more. But I can't see anything. Bruno Fernandes is being tight marked. No, I don't, Jenk. FM has been my life for 14... Is it 14 or 15? 14 years. And this is the first time ever that I've been fed up with it. And this was supposed to be the big advancement since FM23. And to showcase what FM25, how brilliant FM25 was going to be. Well, nothing works. Nothing works in it. So it doesn't tell me that FM25 is going to be the brilliant game that everyone's expecting. We're going to go attacking for the last 10 minutes or so. Both wing fullbacks are already on attack. Let's get him on attack as well. Go attacking. But I've already predicted what's going to happen. The in-game changes that I make will have no effect. Absolutely zero effect. I'm going to make him a wing back on attack. It's really interesting. You could see this beginning in the Birmingham game, where they just looked like they couldn't play football. Even though they won that game, they just looked like they didn't know what a football was. So I knew this was happening. So I think what we do is, while these games are being played, rather than me watch the game and getting upset, we just talk about some other stuff, and the game will decide when all this is over, just as it did with Juventus. Proud of your efforts? What's my assistant manager smoking? Proud of your efforts. That was a shocking performance. And Manchester City next. That's a whatever game. Because if we can't beat these monkeys, then we're not going to beat Cirkin. Another player left. Actually, let's sell all the players and then see what FM does. Let's sell every single player and see what FM does then with the save. That'd be funny. So they've got no football. Pretty much there's nothing going on here. Absolutely nothing. While you're after the City game, I'll have a look around the transfer window. I've got to buy some players, but I've no idea now what to do. So we're not going to change against Manchester City. It's pointless. We just play as we play, and the game decides what happens. And then we can talk about other stuff while the game is going on, because I don't want to watch it particularly. Not if it's cheating. I mean, that is in essence what it's doing. It's actually cheating. It is applying a piece of coding to make you go on these runs, and nothing you do will work. And it's just, for me, that's cheating. Simple as that. It's like the top of the range when you have got to the point where they haven't got any more levels they can give you. They resort to this. Another player going out. I have no idea what's going on here. Will I have any left? I'm supposed to be getting players in, aren't I? Where are they? Oh, he's only young. He's not up to much. Who's Fabian? Oh, he's the bloke we said fine to. We have to have a midfielder, but he will not make his mind up until deadline day, and he's no good anyway. Richarlison is leaving the club. Oh my good lord. Well, let's sell everybody, see what the game does. I had no idea that was going to happen. Richarlison didn't leave Tottenham, did he? Tanganga, he's going to have to go into the first team. Well, why are you buying me a striker? He's rubbish anyway. Absolute rubbish. I'm just going to let the game do what it wants. And if we sell all the players and we've only got 11 left, then so be it. If that's the way the game wants to play the game, we'll let it do that. But I certainly don't want this guy. I don't need wingers. Bissouma. Free kicks are not my responsibility. Don't advise me. Get on with it. Alfie Devine, he'll have to go into the first team as well. So how much money have I got now then? I've got 107 million. I've got to start buying players after this Man United game. And I need my African players back, and I need Son back. Did they win or lose? They won. Destiny Udogie. Yeah, I agree with that. We haven't got any regular starters in the team, I don't think. Oh, he didn't want to come. What is this game doing? Didn't want me to have a midfielder. Stockport. We could probably just sneak a victory against Stockport the way things are going. If I've got enough players. Yeah, let's bring them all through. Why would I want to praise and... Oh, we got another one. I don't have a centre-back. I'm going to have to play with one centre-back. What is this game doing? I haven't got a centre-back back there. There is no centre-back. Oh, Christian Romero. Oh, he's injured. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I don't have a centre-back. Against Manchester City, I've got no team. Who is this? Oh, he's put the full-back as the centre-back, is he? Well, let's do whatever he wants. I'm getting sick and tired of this nonsense. Whatever you want. Oh, yeah, let's sell Pedro, shall we? Oh, no, he's that's Pedro Porro, isn't it? I don't need a striker. I need midfielders. He's pretty good, though. He's pretty good. What's the offer he's made for him? Yeah, we'll go along with that. 18 million. We'll still have 100 million left. Andy. Oh boy. Oh, but with your team devastated and no centre-backs available, it's probably the good game you go and win or get a draw. Who's this? Another one we've let go. The nonsense of the game is that you probably go and get... Who's this? See? I got like a glitch here again. I want your love. We'll play as we'd set it up. I don't have a left winger in there. We'll have to be Brian Gill then. Look at all this nonsense. These guys still on loan. He told me they were going to return. They're not returned. Where's Perisic gone now? Oh yeah, he's gone, isn't he? So he has to come out. Divine has gone. Region has gone out again. And Tanganga has gone. Timo Werner's unregistered. Why? I didn't even see the instruction that he had come in. Because he would be perfect. And I can't do anything about it now. I didn't see the email. There was no email to say he'd arrived. They've had 20 players, and that's with Scarlett. See? Saar not registered. Not registered. Right, I wonder if I can put Timo Werner on the wing here. Yep, he's okay now. Just wondering if I should play him up top. Johnson. See? What are you doing, Mr. Assistant? And two of these fitness problems. Whatever. If this is the only way you can win, that's fine. So, distract me, guys, because I really don't want to watch this annihilation. So we need to talk about something else. I don't know who's been praising us, but that was a long time ago. Nobody's praising us at the moment, FM. That shambles against Birmingham. Why would they praise us for that? So in the break between now and the next one, I've got 100 million to spend in about 10 days. I have to go through the squad and just have... I know we need a right back because I've only got one right back. We're absolutely desperate for two midfielders, although the two Africans will come back at the end of the month. So I'm not quite sure what I need. Probably a forward. That forward will come in, freeing up Johnson to play on the wing and Son to play on the wing. So Manchester City, is Haaland playing? Is that Haaland? Yeah, that's Haaland, isn't it? Yeah. I never know whether to type Mark Haaland or just leave him wander around and hope he has a bad game. I don't think it has any effect, tight marking him. You've got to have somebody very, very good at marking. That's a good pass. Oh, come on. Here we go again. We've actually had most of the game. We haven't had the possession, but you'd expect City to have the... Oh, here's a goal. Oof. Not far off. Not far off. You'd expect City to dominate the possession, but we are creating more chances than they are. But without a midfield, we're not going to be able to beat City. Skip was leaving as well. Why has the game not had him leave? He's supposed to have left ages ago. It's probably because I don't have any midfielders. So when I get another midfielder back, he'll leave. Game's screwed up. Supposed to leave on the 9th. But he's still here. Well, that's a good sign. Haaland having an off day. Good to have injured players back. Pedro Porro back. Bentancur. It's probably good to have him back, although he's not a great player. But he's a body. Pedro Porro is our most dangerous player. They really haven't... They don't really seem to have a dangerous player at the moment. De Bruyne. I probably should type mark De Bruyne. Probably would be a good thing to do. He is slightly overpowered in this game. Well done, defence. Keep Haaland quiet. We've got a chance, he says. I've also noticed this team are giving away so many free kicks. Another one. And yet, when I was playing earlier, when we were on that unbeaten run, we hardly gave away a free kick. And now we're giving away free kicks all over the pitch. Hey Stephen, how you doing, my friend? It's not much of a party. 1-1 and lost one, but the one we won was Birmingham. But in both games, we've forgotten again how to play football, unfortunately. The way that it goes. Kevin De Bruyne, I wonder should I put somebody on him to go through this glitch again now. Playing on the left-hand side, so my right-handed player can type mark De Bruyne. Yeah, it seems to me that De Bruyne is playing that centre mid on attack role. He's just going to try and get close to goal. So somebody probably needs to go with him. They've come back into the game. We had the early moments, but City are the better team now. And there we go. Can't pass the ball again. Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is danger. Yeah. Spotted that. He is being tight marked. Well, it's 0-0, but probably be 3-0 by the end of the game. It gets you through to half-time 0-0, makes you think you're doing all right. I need to get the ball out to Pedro Porro somehow. Let's just try it. Just get the ball to Pedro Porro. He's the only one playing any football here. Oh, unlucky. But he is on a yellow card now. I'm very aware of the sending off that's coming up here. I know FM too well. So I don't want anyone on yellow cards. But we're still in the game. Let's go on 3. Told them proud of their efforts, and I think we can win this. If you keep going, I think we can win this. Certainly kept City's attack down to like 4 shots on goal or something, which is pretty good. Just not really creating anything, but that's okay. Johnson coming deep there. Now it's good movement. Good movement. That's how I thought they might play, but poor passing. And that's how they were playing earlier in the season. He'd come deep, find his man, and then he would rush into the box. And that's what I wanted them to do, these forwards to do. Maybe he's remembered what he's supposed to do again. 50 minutes gone. City have had 4 attempts. 5. But then again, another one off target. Yeah, I wish. We are trying to play as Spurs play. And they were doing extremely well, Tequila. I think they'd won 13 out of 15 games, or 12 out of 15 games. But this is FM now taking over, as it's done in every other club. FM has just taken over, and it's decided you're not winning anymore. And you can see it on the pitch. Suddenly they just don't know what to do anymore. It's really quite a sad game, this FM at the moment. Quite a sad game. They've really messed it up completely. And here we go. It's the forwards again. You can see it straight away. 6.4, 6.5. Forwards again. Like the game saying, you will not score. When they were scoring for fun earlier. So let's get these forwards off them. So unfortunately, Tequila, it's not my fault. There's nothing I can do. The game is out of control. Skip is having a poor game. Let's get the salso on them. Ben Davis. Might as well try him. Although Udogie, the two wing backs are playing quite well. Kulusevski against. Kulusevski was really good. And now he doesn't know what he's doing. He's at a 6.2, I think, a 6.3, and now a 6.4. He's no idea what he's doing anymore. And yet, for the first 15 games, he was amazing. Timo Werner, 6.5. Might as well not bother. So we'll swap those over, because I can't think of anything else to do. Gill can come on there. Clutching at straws now. Maddison is reasonable. I don't know why we're drawing 0-0 because they're not great at the back either. But it's just the game going off on its own tangent now for 10 games or so. Late goals from City. Because it's got to have its fun. But looking at them, this is nothing like they were playing 4 games ago. Nothing like it. Oh, I'll just give the ball to Bernardo, why not? Step over the ball and let him have the ball. This is bonkers. And this is coding. This is game coding. Players running away from the ball. Players stepping over the ball. Allowing the opposition to take the ball. It's game coding. And I'm a little tired of it. Maybe I've just got too used to the game and I can recognize it. Whereas newbies can't recognize what's going on. We're going to sneak it with a corner, are we? Sneak it with a set piece. Oh, have we got another one? Yep, another set piece. I think we might be sneaking this. The FM is going to say we haven't got a team to put out, but that's when you win, when you don't have a team that you can put together. Whereas the game we should have won, we weren't allowed to. I can't work this out at the moment. We've put these two boys to sleep. Those are good decisions that we've made. They haven't had any influence on the game, which results in Haaland going to sleep. So we've done a good job on the two most effective players, which means that Haaland has been ineffective, really. We're just not good up front. Absolutely dreadful up front. Timo Werner still on a 6.4. Maddison's on a 6.4. It's not reflecting Spurs at all. Not at all. So they've got to come off now. It's just bonkers. I've got to take him off. Who am I going to put on there? Who's Santiago? What is he, 12-year-old? Well, he can't do any worse. So let's give him a game. He's the only option that I have. Let him have a run as an advance forward. And then, what other idiot needs to come off? James Maddison. Who's Solomon? Anybody ever heard of this geezer Solomon? Let's give him a game then. Because I have no idea what else to do. I don't have any players, actually. If we get any more players leave, then I won't have a bench for the next game. It's like, are you going to get rid of them all, FM? Wonder if I should be getting stuck in against City. They're not renowned for their strength, are they? This looks dangerous. We don't want to get caught out of shape here. Haaland is becoming a little bit of a worry. Seems to be wandering rather than just holding his position. Maybe because we've got him the other two midfielders tied up. Haaland has decided to wander around a little bit. I don't have any more subs left, do I? Yeah, I have one. Pedro Porro or Udogie? Ben Davis. I think Haaland is getting more and more into the game. I wonder if somebody should be marking him. But he's wandering around, and I don't want these two centre-backs being pulled out of shape. So we're not going to type mark him. A draw against City. It's not going to happen, but just in case. The late goal is coming. I think we've done well considering just how poor we are at the moment. We've done well to take out De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. Oh, who was that? That was that Martinez, was it? Who was it? Or was it Santiago? Solomon or Santiago? Maybe I should play the youth team. He's been more dangerous than any of the first team players. Maybe I should put the youth team in at this point. It's Santiago's causing them a few problems. Well, a draw against City would be a good result. It gives you an idea of what's going on, Tequila. If I play in key highlights, I've got absolutely no idea what the heck is going on. But I can, although this is not a real replication of a football match, I can get an idea of the shape we're in. I can see where my wing backs are, my full backs are. And I can see what the forwards are doing. It just gives me more time to have a look. Although I do know it's not a real representation by a million miles. But it just gives you a little bit of a clue. Which is why we were able to see that the two problems that we had were De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. So we type marked them, put somebody one-on-one with De Bruyne, and it stopped them creating chances. Haaland went to sleep for 45 minutes. De Bruyne has been very ineffective, and so has Bernardo Silva. So it did allow me to see that, whereas I wouldn't have spotted that in key highlights. But we got Alvarez on the pitch now. It's caught me out, hasn't it? Yeah. Oof. We need to deal with Alvarez. Oh, boy. He's a pretty decent player, isn't he? So we need to type mark Alvarez. Just get him out of the game. None of the others are a problem. Almost caught me out, and I would have been caught out in key highlights because I wouldn't have spotted Alvarez coming on the pitch. I nearly didn't spot him. Oh, it would have been a bit harsh on City, that. It would have been a bit harsh if we'd scored there. But still a minute to go. Can we get a goal from this set piece? This game will be really bonkers if we do. We'll have FM'd them for sure. Go on, son. Right on his nodder. Jamie Donnelly. Hey Matthias, how you doing, my friend? One last chance for Spurs. No, that's it, full time. 0-0 draw. Oh, take that with that team that I've got at the moment. And that came about because we put De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva to sleep. And then Haaland didn't have any impact on the game at all. So at the moment, I'll take this, given the squad depth is shocking. I'll take this. I've got £100 million to spend. We've got a couple of players already coming in, I think. He rejected the contract, so he's 16, he's 17. This Pedro is a forward. He's decent. Cheap. So if we can get a couple of midfielders, a right back, he'll be a decent forward. And then 107 million. So we'll still have 98 million to spend with that forward. I think we should have tons of budget. Yeah, we got 700,000 of wage budget. So it's just how well I can do in the transfer window now, before the next game. Never played FIFA. I'm not very good with the old keypads. I've never been a gamer, apart from playing FM, Matthias. So that's it for this episode, guys. A bit disappointing, but I guess if you look at those fixtures, you'd probably have to say we should have beaten Manchester United and lost to Manchester City. So it's kind of evened itself up again. We will beat Stockport, I've no doubt, lose to Liverpool, and then we might recover when all the African players are back. That's how I see it playing out. So I'm going to say goodnight for this one, work on the transfer window and come back on Sunday and just try to improve. I'll keep doing what I can. And yeah, good to have you back, Andy, as well. Good to see you, my friend. So all you guys out there, have a good night. And we'll see you on the weekend on Sunday. Hopefully with better fortune. But I'll say Manchester City 0-0 was a good result. And we did actually put De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva out of the game. So I think probably deserved that 0-0. Manchester United was a shambles. See you next time, boys. And hopefully we'll have better fortunes. Take care now. See you soon. Bye.